I was sitting in my small living room, the glow from the single string of lights I'd hung up flickering like it was struggling to stay alive, just like me. My hands were wrapped around a cup of lukewarm tea, hoping its warmth would fill the hollow feeling in my chest. Christmas Eve used to mean noise, love, my son's laughter filling every corner of this house. But this year, all I had was silence and the sound of my own heart cracking a little more with every passing hour. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. I'd called him 2 weeks ago just to ask if I should bring my famous pecan pie, the one he begged me to make every year since he was little. I could still hear his voice in my head, flat, cold, like he was speaking to a stranger. "Mom, don't come. Nobody wants you there. You'll just ruin the mood." I thought maybe he was joking, that cruel, stupid humor his wife liked to play. So I asked again, gently, like stepping on glass. "Sweetheart, are you serious?" He sighed loud, like I was a burden just for existing. "Yes, I'm serious. Stay home. We're having a real family Christmas this year." Then he hung up. I remember sitting there on the edge of my bed that night, clutching the phone like it might apologize for what it carried to me. My chest ached worse than my bad back ever had. I thought of the years I'd worked 2 jobs, cleaning houses, washing other people's dirty sheets, just so he could have every toy, every pair of sneakers, every chance I never had. And now my own boy, the one I carried in my arms when I was just 20, was saying I wasn't family anymore. The next morning, I walked to the store anyway. I bought small gifts, just in case he changed his mind. I wrapped them with shaking hands, thinking maybe he'd call, maybe he'd remember I existed. Days passed. Nothing. On Christmas Eve, I picked up the phone, tears smudging my vision, and called one last time. His wife answered. She didn't even say hello, just laughed. "Oh God, it's you. Didn't he make it clear? Nobody wants you there, he said it himself. You're pathetic calling like this." Then she hung up, and I swear the sound of that click was louder than any slammed door. I sat at my little kitchen table staring at the gifts, my breath shallow, my whole body trembling. Memories flooded in. The time I sold my engagement ring to pay for his college books, the nights I skipped dinner so he could have a full plate, the house I signed over to him because he said it would help him get on his feet. Every sacrifice, every ounce of love, thrown away like I was garbage. Outside, I could see through the window, snow falling heavy and quiet. Across the street, families were laughing, lights glowing warm in their windows. My house felt like a tomb. My heart felt like ice cracking in my chest. For a long time, I just sat there feeling like maybe they were right. Maybe I really was a burden, too old, too useless to be wanted. But then, something changed. A thought crept in, slow and sharp. If nobody wanted me, maybe they didn't need anything I'd given them either. I wiped my face, stood up straighter than I had in years, and looked at the envelope on the counter. The inheritance papers I'd signed last summer, the ones that promised everything I owned would go to my son when I was gone. My hands stopped shaking. My jaw clenched tight. They didn't know it yet, but this Christmas, I was going to give them a gift they'd never forget. The gift of losing everything they thought they were entitled to. I didn't sleep that night. The snow outside kept falling, blanketing the world in white. But inside my chest, there was nothing but a storm. My house was dim, quiet. Only the old clock ticking on the wall. Each tick like a drumbeat in my ears. I thought of all the Christmas mornings I'd spent making magic out of nothing, wrapping dollar store toys in shiny paper, cutting up old bed sheets to sew stockings for him, watching his face light up as if I'd given him the moon. I thought of how every sacrifice I made, every aching bone, every sleepless night was for him. And now he told me nobody wanted me anymore. I stared at that envelope for hours, my fingers tracing the edges until they went numb. My son thought my life was over, that I was just waiting to die and hand him my hard-earned money like a thank you note for his cruelty. But I wasn't dead yet, not inside, not where it mattered, and I wasn't going to leave this earth knowing my name, my memory, would live only in the mind of someone who despised me. The next morning I put on my heavy coat, the same faded red one I'd had for 20 years, and walked through the biting cold to the bank. Every step hurt, my knees ached, but anger was stronger than pain. Inside, it smelled like coffee and paper, and the young man at the desk gave me a polite smile like I was just another old lady with a savings account. He had no idea I was about to rewrite the end of my story. I withdrew everything, every penny I'd left for him, the inheritance he was counting on, the money he probably bragged about to his wife, promising they'd live easy once I was gone. I tucked it into a new account under my name, my control, my rules, and for the first time in years, I felt my spine straighten. A week passed. I didn't hear a word from him. Then, on New Year's Eve, my phone rang. His name flashed on the screen, and my heart stuttered before I answered. "Mom," he said, his voice fake sweet, like honey poured over broken glass. "We've been thinking maybe you could help us out. We're short on cash after the holidays. Just a little loan. It's not like you need it." Something inside me snapped clean in two. "You mean the holidays you didn't want me at?" I said, my voice shaking but louder than it had been in weeks. "The Christmas where nobody wanted me? Remind me again why my money is good enough for you, but my presence isn't." There was a pause, then his wife snatched the phone. "Oh, don't be dramatic," she sneered. "You know you're old and lonely. You're lucky we even call. Just transfer the money, or don't be surprised when you spend next Christmas completely alone." My hands tightened on the phone, knuckles white. For a moment, the old me wanted to beg, to apologize, to make peace just to have their voices around me. But no, not this time. Not ever again. I thought of the papers I'd signed, the ones I'd torn up and replaced, the way I'd watched my signature vanish like chains snapping. And I knew what I had to do next. They had taken my love and turned it into a weapon. Now I was going to take everything they thought they owned, everything they thought they deserved, and leave them standing in the ruins of their own greed. My revenge wasn't just going to sting, it was going to burn, slow and merciless, until they understood exactly what they had thrown away. New Year's Day dawned cold and gray, the kind of morning where the world feels quiet enough to hear every thought in your head. I sat at my kitchen table, a fresh cup of coffee warming my hands, my plan finally clear. They wanted me invisible until my money was on the table? Fine. I'd give them exactly what they deserved, a taste of what it's like to be discarded and unwanted. 2 days later, I made an appointment with my lawyer. The same man who had drawn up my old will blinked in surprise when I slid the torn pages across his desk. "Change everything," I said firmly, my voice low but steady. "My son and his wife get nothing. Not a dime, not a spoon. Every cent goes somewhere they'll choke on when they find out." His brow furrowed, but he nodded, already scribbling notes. I spent the following week making arrangements. The inheritance they thought they were guaranteed, money from my years of sweat and sacrifice, was redirected. I didn't leave it to strangers, no. I left it to the people who had shown me kindness when my own blood turned me out. My neighbor, Mrs. Green, who brought me soup when I was sick. The young cashier at the corner store who helped carry my groceries when my hands shook too much. A local shelter for elderly women abandoned by their families, a place I'd quietly volunteered at once a month. They all got pieces of what my son assumed was his birthright. By mid-January, the rumors had reached them. My son called again, his voice sharp this time, panic bleeding through every syllable. "Mom, what the hell are you doing? I heard you changed the will. You can't just— this family deserves that money!" I let silence stretch long enough for him to squirm. "Family?" I said finally, my tone like ice cracking. "Family doesn't tell a mother she's unwanted on Christmas. Family doesn't spit on the hands that fed them for decades. You don't deserve a thing from me. Not my presence, not my love, not my money." His wife's shrill voice cut in from the background. "You're just being spiteful. You'll regret this when you're rotting alone in that little shack of yours." I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I spoke calm and clear, every word sharp enough to cut. "No, sweetheart. The only people rotting will be you two. rotting in regret when you realize you traded every gift, every ounce of love, for greed. You told me nobody wanted me? Consider this my Christmas gift to you. Now, you'll never want for my money either. Then I hung up, blocking their numbers for good. Weeks later, I heard through a neighbor that they'd been counting on my inheritance to dig them out of debt. Their shiny cars were gone. The house they bragged about, foreclosed. Their friends stopped calling when the money ran dry. Meanwhile, every person I'd chosen to help instead wrote me letters of thanks, stopped by to hug me, reminded me what genuine gratitude felt like. For the first time in years, I sat by my window watching the snow melt and felt free. Not rich in money, I'd given most of that away, but rich in peace. My son had wanted a world where I didn't matter, where I disappeared until my wallet opened, so I gave him his wish. I disappeared from his life forever, taking every ounce of power he thought he had over me, and I left him with nothing but the echo of his own cruel words to keep him warm at night. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.